What up, everybody? Welcome to the Bourbon, Buzzed, and Ballin podcast, and it's time to rate that shit. We are your hosts, Kolby and Dut, and we have a
unique one.
Pony tonight.
It's a unique one. It's one that was given to us by a listener. Wanted us to try it and see what we thought of it. It's called Duke. Named after John Wayne. It's actually started by John Wayne's youngest son, Ethan.
All right, we're doing a celebrity.
Yeah, we kind of been on celebrity. We did the Elvis last week with the Lisa Marie passing, and then, like I said, one of our listeners brought us this to try, and so we just kind of on a celebrity kick.
Hey, we never turn down free bourbon.
Heck no. So, like I said, this is the Duke. I'll put up our rating system. You can explain that, and then I'll tell a little bit more about this bourbon that we're going to try.
Absolutely. So our bourbon rating system here on Bourbon, Buzz, and Ballin', we do 1 through 4. 1 is brown bag. For us, that's our lowest that we'll give a bourbon. We don't like to kick too many bourbons out, but 1, it's pretty bad.
Yep.
2, it's actually getting a little bit better. We call that a mixer, and that's probably what we consider a stock bourbon. We like to put that in our favorite drink, splash of Coke, what have you.
Right.
Number 3, it's gotten a lot better, but it might be higher in proof. So we're gonna put that a little rock in there, a little ball of ice on the rocks. And then last but not least, to us, the way any bourbon ought to be tasted, at least the first time, that's neat. We like ours in a Glencairn, so that's how I pretty much drink my bourbon all the time. I mean, I want to taste it. Even if it's bad, I'm going to power through it neat and maybe cull the bottle when I'm done.
That's right. Give it to somebody you don't like.
That's right. Serve it to my in-laws.
All right, so like I said, this is Duke, and it's produced by Duke Spirits, which, like I mentioned, was organized by John Wayne's youngest son, Ethan. He has a business partner, and it's bottled at the OZ Distillery in Owensboro, Kentucky. It's aged for 5 years. Now, what his son did was they had come across some old bourbons that his dad had. So they tried those bourbons, and apparently his dad also kind of dabbled in his own bourbon recipe. This was created to pay homage to what John Wayne liked to drink. So It's supposed to be very similar in taste as to what his private stock of bourbons tasted like. So it's an interesting story when I started doing a little research on it. It's 88 proof, so it's a little bit lower than where we typically like to drink our bourbons, but aged 5 years, so it should be pretty good. It's 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% barley. So no wheat in there. It's a high rye bourbon. I said aged for 5 years. It retails for about $40. I've seen the low at about $37, $38, and I've seen it as high as about $50. But retail, fair market should be about $40 to $45.
You know where our listener got it from?
I do not.
You don't?
I do not.
Oh, okay. It'd be interesting because
I haven't seen it
North
either.
Carolina.
But looking at the online reviews, everybody seems to love it. Really, really enjoyed it. Now we should be getting your nose should be a little bit of a floral to it, but also get the caramels and the vanillas.
We always pour ours too prior to even taping the show. We let it.
Yeah, we like to let it breathe like a wine.
Yeah.
For a good 20 minutes or so, especially on that first serving, where you really want to let the.
I get that rye. I can smell that rye.
Yeah.
It's coming up.
Yeah, and I just got that floral too on that second sniff.
Yeah, I get a little rye and a little floral myself. I'm not very sweet. Doesn't smell sweet at all, which I guess you would expect for
another. Exactly. Another term I heard it described as was dough.
Like bread.
Like dough.
You like eating raw dough before?
Like I said,
cookie dough maybe. I don't get no sweetness from it.
No, I got the, and I think when they said dough, what they meant was the mash. I get a lot of floral. Now your taste, it's aged in a very charred oak barrel, so you should get that charred oak.
Yeah.
And then maybe a little roasted nuts, the vanilla, caramel, and maybe on the tail end a little nutmeg.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting some oaky charredness to the front end. A little bit of rye, a little bit of hug.
I mean, I've had some high ryes that are a little bit stronger, spicier on the spicy rye side than this one is.
I definitely got a little sweetness, vanilla on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
It finished.
It's pretty complex.
For me, it finished pretty.
It's smooth.
It finished pretty sweet for the
rye,
upfront
for having the rye in it. Yeah, it's not. It's not spicy like you would think from a rye. I mean, it's not a rye. It is a straight bourbon, but the mash bill has rye in it. I don't want to confuse people by saying rye.
Right.
I like to refer to it as a high rye.
I like it. I mean, I thought it was.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice, pleasant flavor with a little hint of strength to it for 88.
Right.
It had a little bit of pop to it, a little hug, but then it doesn't really finish very spicy.
I think I would like it better if it was 94, 96 proof. I think that's the only thing it's missing is just that little bit of extra. But it's got a lot going on there. I mean,
it's tasty.
Like I said, with that floral nose, and then the different flavors you get, I don't think I can quite go neat with it, but I can definitely go 3 with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of landing in the same level as the Elvis last week for me.
Yeah, for you. For me, it's definitely better than the Elvis.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's definitely better than the Elvis for me.
I'm surprised. I had in the back of my mind that you weren't gonna be as thrilled with it, just with the rye and the build.
I think my taste buds are adjusting a little bit. The more rye that I've been consuming.
Well, you gotta be open to it. You
Right.
know, if you're reviewing it like we're doing,
I'm still
kind of forced to do.
I'm still staying away from straight ryes. I still want my corn.
We gotta go that way.
I still want my corn bourbons. I prefer wheat, but I don't mind a high rye bourbon. But we'll eventually get there.
It's a solid 3 for me.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a very. For $40, I think for $40 there's good flavor.
I mean,
the profile is pretty standard to me. Like it had a little heat. Had a little oak, had a little sweetness,
and definitely if you're a bourbon drinker that doesn't like that burn, you just want smooth, but you want a few different flavors, popping in there. Right. It's a good one. It's real good for that type of.
That would definitely make the list of a good beginner bourbon.
Yeah, I agree. A good price point. Right at $40. That's what you're gonna spend on a Woodford or a Maker's, and this is right in there with those.
Yeah, nice bottle.
Yeah, it's a pretty bottle.
Nice label.
It's got
silver
Duke on there and
embellishments on there. I like it. I mean, it was enjoyable.
Yeah,
free.
Nice story. I mean, if you're a John Wayne fan, you definitely got to go out and buy a bottle of this and have it. I'm gonna do a little more research on this Duke Spirits and see if they've got.
How long was this aged? Did you
5 years?
Okay.
And it's got good color.
That makes sense. I mean, it tasted like more aged to me.
Right.
Definitely better than the Woodson.
I got my brown bag ready for when you bring that over.
No, we ain't brown bagging Charles Woodson, man. That's not gonna happen.
I'll cut some eyes out and a little happy face.
No, but, we can rail on Kayvon Thibodeau.
Oh yeah.
But C-Dub is off the list. You can't talk about him.
But I'd like to know, maybe they've got something that's a little higher proof, maybe something that's aged longer than the 5 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you got a 10 or a 15 year of this Duke, man, that's gonna be some good stuff. If they're thinking of aging one,
yeah,
that's gonna be really good. I like it. I mean, to be honest, of all the celebrity type bourbons we've had, the
Right.
Elvis and the Duke, are way better than the other. Yeah,
McConaughey's
McConaughey and the Camp Creek
Yeah,
and Charles
is
Woodson.
it
I don't even.
Redneck Riviera or whatever it is that Big and Rich has. It's
This is almost, to me, they're trying to be. They're
genuine
they're
bourbon.
a legit bourbon.
Right.
This
Well,
is a legit effort.
I mentioned it last week. A lot of times these celebrity bourbons, they rush to get them to market. They only age them a couple years, and it's trash.
It's trash. Yeah.
This bourbon was aged for 5 years, like a good bourbon should be.
Right.
So obviously they're in it for the long haul. They didn't just rush to market. They got a good product. So I recommend the Duke.
I recommend the Duke too. I'm looking around the room and I'm wondering when this one's gonna make it onto the show.
Is Colonel Taylor a celebrity?
He is in our book.
Should we do that one next week?
Colonel Taylor or Colonel Angus?
Colonel Angus.
Colonel Angus. I like Colonel Angus. It's hot and sweaty down there where Colonel Angus is.
We can bust open that Colonel Taylor next week.
I don't know if the camera can see this one. They're a little fresh bottle of Blanton's. A little overrated, but still a good
It's
one.
fun. It's a fun one. Yeah, I mean,
Pot
it's
still on the other side.
Yep. I mean, that's why I don't. You can go out and find a bottle of Blanton's for $100, $200, $300. It's not a $100 bourbon.
No, it's not.
It's a $60 bourbon at best.
It's an MSRP bourbon. It's not a secondary market.
It's a beautiful bottle. It's great to try to collect the horses. It's fun, but don't go out and spend $300 on a bottle of Blanton's.
And especially if you're just beginning and you've heard the craze for Blanton's. And one of these days we're going to put a list of overrated bourbons up here, and I think Blanton's would definitely make our list. I mean, it's overrated from the secondary standpoint,
right?
Not overrated from the MSRP standpoint.
No. It's
still a good bourbon.
Yeah, it's a great $60 bourbon.
It is, but let's not pay like what Dut paid.
Yeah, no, I won't pay triple digits for it. I might go up to 99, but
I paid $125 for the last one,
right?
But that was prior to really fully understanding this whole bourbon,
right?
This whole bourbon trail that we're on. So, for sure, got some good ones.
Yeah.
That was a good one. We appreciate that one. Thank you. Who was our listener?
That was Brian.
So Brian, our listener, man, we appreciate that.
B. Edwards.
It's always nice to get free bourbon, and that was definitely money well spent.
Yeah,
good bourbon.
Yep. Next time we run into him, we'll have to pour him a glass.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
That's it, man.
He always loves to hear what we think of him.
Well, we can keep continuing on, letting you see what we think of your bourbons. Keep bringing them.
That's right. Shoot us an email, bourbonbuzzedandballinpr@gmail.com. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok. Follow, like, and share us. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple, YouTube.
We appreciate your everybody watching and listening to us, and we appreciate the activity, all the love that we're getting on all of our socials. It's important. I hate to sit here and be like a salesman and ask for that, but honestly, that's important to our journey here.
Because we want to get enough following where we can go to these different distilleries and say, hey, we're Kolby and Dut, and we'd like to do a podcast from here. So that's kind of the ultimate goal, is to get. We're not looking to retire and make this a full-time career and shit like that, but we would like to have a good enough following where we can, branch out and do some fun events and some things for people. So,
yeah, ultimately, that's the ultimate goal for sure.
That's where we'd like to get to. So,
I mean, we're down in Kolby's basement for our studio, so it's not like we got overhead.
That's right.
So those of you that might think
this week
it doesn't matter.
I was going to say this week it didn't cost us anything because we didn't even pay for the bourbon.
No, it's free, man. It's free.
Yep. So, all right, sounds good, man.
That was a good portion of the podcast. It was a really good podcast. Good conversation.
The sports talk was excellent over there, and then I was pleasantly surprised with the Duke.
Now next week, are you going? Am I on my own?
No,
next
no,
week?
I
It's
will.
The following
it's
week.
the following week that I will be unavailable to film the podcast.
So Dut might be on his own. We haven't decided that yet.
Might be. It's your host Dut.
That's right. And no Kolby. He's going to be vacationing, so it might be just me flying solo on the next podcast. We'll see how that goes.
Yep. No, not the next one.
I'll be in the following. That's right.
But
That's
yeah.
right.
So yeah, we'll have to hit that Colonel Taylor before I go on my break.
Why can't we just do that while you're going? I won't.
Because I'm taking it with me.
Colonel Taylor. He ain't taking that with him. He can't take that with him.
I'm gonna lock it up.
He ain't locking it up for me. He's locking it up for anyway.
All right. Cool. Well, please tune in. We'll see you then. Cheers.
Cheers.